Hey everybody, it's me, Karen, the psychic medium. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I wanted to pop on and talk about what happens during a mediumship reading. And this goes for anybody that is a skeptic or who has never had a reading and is curious what actually happens when I read somebody. Well, first off, you can never predict what's going to come through. You never know what soul's going to come through. You never know what's going to be said, but most of all, they're going to want to give you the spirits are going to want to give you a healing message. They're not going to come down and tell you you need to do this and you need to do that. But I feel the sensation of the person that comes through, and either they come on my. I think I get most on the right or the left. And I can tell right away whether it's a female or a male because they tell me. A mother spirit or a grandmother spirit is very soft and gentle, and a man spirit is a little bit more firm, I guess. But what actually happens is and believe me when I tell you, they really, really do want to get in touch with you. They're on the other side hoping and praying that you will contact them, and you can do that. You can contact your own loved ones. You don't need a medium to do that. But what happens during one is it can be really cool. I give evidence, so there's a difference. There's an evidential medium is the one that gives actual evidence, something that I can't Google. I do people that I don't know, and there's no way I would know certain things. Pets can come through. You just never know. But a lot of times people come through and want to reach their loved ones because there's unfinished business, or they want to know how they died. It just depends on what you want, but it can be it can get emotional. For the longest time, I was skeptic. I'll be honest with you. I'll give you an example of what I was. I started to hear my name. I started to hear passed away loved ones, and I started to hear most of all my mother, and that really freaked me out. And I thought, why am I hearing my mom? I mean, she did pass away, but she's actually the reason that woke me up. I heard her voice, and I seen her come across the room in an orb with her voice and light up my phone. She said, "Watch," and my phone lit up. Watch, and my phone lit up. Watch, and my phone lit up. And they've been trying to get my attention for the longest time to come out here and do this, and I was freaked out. I'll be honest with you. I was really, really freaked out. So, but you just never know what's going to happen. You have to get one to know what's going to happen, because honest to God, you just don't know. Here's another thing I do want to point out is I've done some readings where people are disappointed because here's the key thing is you don't know who's going to come through, so you cannot have expectations. You can ask somebody that you want to talk to. If you have a boyfriend that passed away or something like that, you can ask him to come through, but sometimes they don't. Sometimes you've got somebody else that wants to talk to you. Spirit is only going to give you a message that's going to help you or to heal you. So if you are expecting to reach somebody that you're like, why did you leave me, or what did you do that for? They're not going to tell you that, because especially if it's tragic, okay? A lot of times they don't want to talk about it. And especially if it's new, then they're going to give you time to grieve. And a lot of times your mind's not going to be ready. There's a grieving process that you have to go through. Sometimes mediums say wait a year. Sometimes you can get in contact with them. You just never know, but I go with what I'm told. And here's why. When I do a mediumship reading, I set my ego, I give it to Archangel Michael, and I call him in and I tell him, take my ego away from me, so whatever comes through is not meant for me, it's meant for the person that I'm reading. So whatever comes through to me it has nothing to do with me. And that's the key thing is mediums read people, and they're not talking about themselves. They're talking about you. The person that they're giving a reading to. Okay. People want to come through and want to know why they lost their child. Why did you commit suicide? Why did you overdose? Who killed you? Things like that. And they're only going to give you what's meant for you to know right now, because you have to remember that things happen for a reason, and it is always in divine time. Angels will come through with the most beautiful messages for you. So it depends on if you want to. A lot of times I like to include the angels, I like to always give a really positive message at the end, because who doesn't want to leave you with a positive note? I'm still like testing my what works for me, but I know that when I hold, this is what works for me best, is when I hold an object, or I feel, because I can read emotions really really well. I've always been able to do that, and Spirit has taught me how to separate my own emotions, and so there's a process that I have to go through. Um, and you can bring someone's ashes with you. It depends on who wants to give you the message, and sometimes there's more than one. So it just depends on what they are, or what's going to be best for the person that I'm reading. So yeah, if you're skeptic or anything like that, then leave me a comment. Tell me, why are you a skeptic? Why do you not believe? Is there something that's stopping you? Are you afraid? Because I would like to know, to better serve me, so that I can, maybe get on and make a video and explain why. But yeah, mediumship readings are very, very unpredictable. They're very unpredictable, and you just never know what you're going to get. They don't want to come in and say, make you sad or anything like that. And a couple of times, like if you come in and you're closed off already, you may not get the full reading, the full message that was meant for you. So try to come in with an open mind, because that's always good for the medium and for you all the way around. They're, like I said, they're skeptics, and that's when mediums, or sorry, that's when Spirit likes to give the evidence. A lot of times they will come in and blow your mind, and it's like, how did you know that? You don't get that every time, but you get enough to know that what you need to know. Let's just put it that way. Bits and pieces. I do hear Spirit. I feel Spirit, and sometimes I get things that I just know, and I say, wow, I didn't know that. So I always have to make sure that I'm plenty ready for it. There, like I said, steps I got to take to make sure that and I have to connect with your energy. So I read your energy, and then I invite the Spirit in that wants to give the message to you. And whoever comes through will give the message. And, I'll get flashes of, people and what they're wearing. And it's really, really cool, because a lot of times, I've had a cat come through, and I read somebody that had a cat, and I described the cat, and the person's like, oh yeah, that was my cat. So you just never know what or who's going to come through. But they don't ever think that you can't get in touch with the people that you love, because they're really waiting for you to do that. They're so excited over there wanting to get in touch with you. So, don't shut them out after they leave. Always talk to the people that you love, because they'll talk back to you. It's really, really important to them. They can see you. They can see on the other side. They see everything that you're doing, and they don't miss any of your most special moments, your weddings, the birth of your children, or whatever, a divorce or a breakup. Those are the times that they really want to comfort you, and those are the times when the angels really want to come in and love on you, because angels protect. They want to love you, and they want to comfort you, and it's very, very cool. Let's see, what else do we see? Yeah, I think I've listed, there's cats and dogs that come through, loved ones, angels. Here's one thing I want to say is, if you ever seek out a medium and they're giving you negative stuff, you don't want that kind of medium. A medium is not ever going to tell you anything negative or dark. So if it feels dark, like, nobody's going to tell you bad things, because that's not what mediumship is all about. And I know people can be skeptic and say, I don't know. I'm afraid, of the spirits and stuff. The only dark spirits really um, are the ones that are earthbound, and they like to stay to themselves anyway. Evil wants to stay away, so I mean, don't worry about any of that stuff. But I do want to remind you, don't touch if you're trying to do it yourself. Don't touch a Ouija board or any of those things. Spirit boxes, I would say no to that. For me, I leave that stuff alone. Um, you just got to go with your gut, honest to God. Let's see, what else do I want to add to this? Yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know. But I just kind of wanted to let you know what you can experience or what you can expect during a mediumship readings. And sometimes I will feel the pull a angel card, um, but it's always for your best and highest good. They're never going to come in and be nasty and mean or anything like that. So if you've been sitting on the fence and you want a reading, just send me a message. I would love to do that for you. Anyway, that's what I wanted to pop on and say. Like I say, if you have any questions, just let me know. And please leave me a comment, and please, please, please hit the notification bell, and please share. I'm really trying to get myself out there, so I would really appreciate your help. And I would love to interact with you guys. Who's watching me? Leave me a comment, because nobody does. I think to myself, are people afraid to talk to me? I know I'm new. But I really, I want to be able to help people, and I really want to get myself out there. So please leave me a comment, and I hope you guys are having a great day, and I'm wishing you all love and light, and I will see you guys later.